Tim, thanks for joining me.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Why don't you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about Hook Agency.
Tim Brown, Hook Agency. It's a Google specialized team out of Minneapolis, Minnesota with 30 people, which is somewhat unusual for marketing agencies to have that many in-house employees. We're in the trenches digital marketing, meaning one, we actually get out of the office sometimes and go shadow high-performing people and hang out with our clients on job sites, either selling or do office tours. But more importantly, it's that we get real work done on our clients' behalf every single month, and we show them exactly what we got done. That's what we mean by in the trenches. It's that the work is real and that we're getting it done and that we show you that we got it done. And I think, especially for you think about contractors, they're a little bit more skeptical of digital marketing, and it's a little bit of a black box for them sometimes. So for us, it just means showing and being transparent and consistent. And we do custom work as well. So we do SEO, PPC, and websites.
Yep, love it. I mean, I think that the showing the work is so critical. I mean, I've a number of our users at ProLine have used you guys, continue to use you guys, and have had an amazing experience. And that's what I hear over and over and over again. I knew what was going on when I worked with, working with Hook. I know there's transparency to what's actually happening, and I know that like my leads are doing this, and it's because of Hook. And so I think you guys do a phenomenal job of that.
Thank you very much. And just a two-way petting zoo over here, but also, from my point of view, none of this matters unless people are following up with the leads. Like we do not operate in a vacuum. We can't get out there and close the deal for you. So having a CRM that has follow-up at the core and the front and center to it, to me, that's a big important thing as far as making sure that the leads that come in are getting nurtured.
Yeah, 100%. Because you can generate leads all day long, but then if you don't have the systems in place to turn those leads into the appointments and then into the sales, then that's going to affect your ROI.
Absolutely, and the more touches you get, the better. Yeah. And I love what you guys do with that.
Yeah, it's there's that with that phrase. It's like it takes 7 touches to make a sale.
Oh, absolutely.
I think for something like roofing, it's way more than 7. It's and the numbers that we're seeing, because we started looking at our data and the number of automations and also manual touch points that are just going through ProLine doesn't even account for anything outside of ProLine, and it's just the number is way higher.
What is it?
I don't have that yet. We're like going through the data right now and gleaning insights from looking at our users. We just started doing this like in the last couple months, but so that's a number I need.
There's probably other touches going on outside of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if I know sales reps.
Yes. Yeah.
We're not documenting everything in the CRM, I'll promise you that.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. 100%. Which is, that's why we've gone the route of having the phone system in the CRM.
So it's automatically tracking it?
It's all tracking.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So, but all right, so back to you guys. Can you describe who's your ideal customer? What does your typical Hook agency client look like?
Probably around the $3 to $15 million roofer who has other systems in place, has good sales training and on his team, is open to retail as well as storm. We found a lot of our customers do storm, but are also open to retail because not everything has storm damage.
Yeah.
And if you can, you can make it happen, but not every roof should have storm damage.
Right.
So you got to be able to sell that too. Sometimes people just want a roof. Sometimes people just want to upgrade. Sometimes people want to buy from you even though the insurance company isn't going to buy it for them.
Right.
So anyways, we love working with those kind of customers. Sales training, retail as well as storm, follows up on their leads, and nice. Yeah. We do like nice people. We really do have to work with you in an ongoing way over time. And so frankly, and in general, we've been able to be fairly selective. Yeah. So we try to get clients that there's good communication, good rapport. It is a partnership after all. and you can kind of tell sometimes, just not, to go negative for a second, you can kind of tell when somebody like mistreats everyone on their company, and the way they treat like outside vendors is kind of mirroring that.
Right.
So people that have a good culture and treat their people well too. And that also means that they'll have employees longer. That also means their close rate's going to go up. That also means they're going to be they're just going to be nicer as a partner. And I mean, like, hey, sometimes we're a little less selective. It's been a weird year. We've been a little less selective, but we're still trying to find people that we are looking for. I think the biggest one is sales systems. Whatever that means to them, like training and stuff, I think is the biggest deal. And I do like growth mode companies. That'll be my last thing. Growth mode companies, because there are people that are satisfied with $2 million and or think they're balling at $3 million or whatever, right? And you're not balling, like that's just the beginning. No offense, that's just not a big roofing company. So like, don't be satisfied. Like the people that want to keep growing, and like the other thing when you keep growing, like you're always making your customer service better. If you really want to grow, it's going to take more than marketing. It's going to take really good customer service. And so when people are growth mode, they usually are improving all aspects of their company. They're not satisfied with the systems that they have at a low level.
That growth mode, that's such a good term, because it's something that we look for as well. Because this is a super interesting conversation with like the sizing, because you can be fairly comfortable as an owner at 2 to 3 million. But the issue is, what happens when you have the down year? What happens when you get in a lawsuit over who knows what? Then you may not have that cushion there to even be able to absorb that loss, and so you're in a potentially very dangerous place. So we look for people that are at minimum aiming for that 5 million mark as like the starting point, because that's about the point, if you're running your business right, at least from what we've seen, that you can be stable.
It's funny that you say that. We had a recent situation where somebody called us up and there's a problem with Google Ads, where even though we had told Google to get rid of a card, anyways, $70,000 was spent on a card that shouldn't have been spent. And that issue is totally resolved, completely everything, but for a second there, we thought we were going to be liable for $70,000. And my wife got on the call and she said, we're going to do everything we can. We're going to dispute it with Google, we're going to dispute it with the credit card, but at the end of the day, we are going to cover that $70,000 if we have to.
One way or another.
We will do it. Personally, we talked about it that whole weekend of like, that if that 70K happens, this is what we're gonna have to do. Because its cash flow would be a big hit on us. It would be a massive hit. But we were ready to do that because it would have been the right thing to do. And that you're only as good as the right thing that you're willing to do that's super hard. And so like, we are willing to fix a problem if we absolutely have to by doing that. And I think like, that's also why we document shit. Because we're not liable after we did work. We completed the work and we actually like document it. So it's not just, it has to me, that documentation is covering our ass. Just like you should cover your ass in every way possible, right? Like, and document what you're doing, and hey, by the way, maybe this could get edited. I'm sorry. Do you guys have like a company cam like type thing in your software that's like, or do you guys integrate with company cam?
So we integrate with company cam and have a really tight integration with them that's really effective. We pull in photos from company cam so they can be used in a lot of different places in our platform for estimates and even shared through our platform with customers.
That's awesome.
But it's all still stored on company cam, so we still rely on them. We do have users that will use us without company cam for sure. Plenty of users that do that. But if they're going to go that route, they got to take it on their camera roll and upload it. So that's.
I do think that is like documentation.
The documentation.
Like, people will talk about company cam, for instance, for sales, or like show them the problem or those types of things. Here's my inspection. But then on the other side, the documentation to cover your ass, like software like that can be such a big deal. Like it's really good to document a job before you do anything, because hey, their rose bush might have been squashed before you got there.
Yeah.
They might have already had that part of the deck might have already been broken off.
Yeah.
But buyers are liars. Sometimes they come back and say, hey, this was a problem from you guys. So I think documentation is not only like customers love that.
Yeah.
They appreciate like being updated on the state of their work. Everyone enjoys that.
Yep.
Because we all have trust issues.
Yep.
But also it covers your butt in case something does go wrong.
Yep. Yep, I like that. Yeah, it's not a one-to-one, but we also documentation around communication, especially around and different states have different laws around this, but we can be compliant with different settings.
Yep.
But we do call recording.
Yes.
So your entire team, all the phone numbers to our platform, not only is that getting logged in ProLine, but we're also recording the calls. And it's just another one of those things. It's like the communication, it's on record. Yeah. We have, there's no like, oh, you said
I actually want to be this other color.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, that's not exactly how I thought it was going to look. Maybe I think I said this.
Right.
Yeah.
We're like, well, we have it documented. Whether it's coming text, whether it's over the phone, or whether it's email, it's all documented.
Smart.
So, I mean, I think for the contractor, photos, communication, having all that thoroughly documented, and ideally having it in a way where you're not. I mean, if it's contingent on manually logging things in the CRM or manually doing anything, it's probably not going to happen. Mm-hmm. But if you obviously you have to take the photos, but you got to be able to take those photos and have those just be there where you need them to be.
Yeah.
So we have a very similar focus to you guys on, where we almost work. We have plenty of guys that do a lot of insurance, but pretty much everyone on our platform does retail to a certain extent. They're like open to retail. And we've always kind of leaned a little bit more towards the retail guys because my co-founder has always been like very heavily retail. But on the insurance,
is he doing more storm right now?
He is doing more storm, but he is taking the using financing to convert them into retail jobs.
Gotcha.
So he does.
That's interesting.
He does 100% financed projects, and then he lets the homeowner work with insurance. So he loses some jobs because of that, but he's just okay with like working with the people that are wanting to do that model, and then he doesn't have to worry about ARR and or AR and
because it becomes a whole nother job.
Yeah.
And it's a beast. And like I think storm guys take it for granted that that's like just how life has to be.
Yep.
And it's like there's a lot of people that are just retail. And if you don't want to live like that, there's a different way. It's possible. Maybe you won't. Like, it is a big value add to like kind of guide the homeowner on insurance. So they do like that. But if you don't want to live your life constantly fighting with insurance companies, you don't have to.
Right, you don't have to. And especially so here in Florida, we have a number of contractors here, and they're working the hurricanes, and all the contractors on our platform are doing the same thing. They're converting it to, because of how hard it is here, especially in Florida. So that was one thing I wanted your take on is there is all of these changes coming in the insurance side. Right now, it's mostly in Florida, and then also some in Texas, where like insurance companies are pulling out, they're covering less. All these new kind of rules. What's your take on that? Do you think that this is just kind of the ebb and flow, or do you think that there's fundamental changes coming to the insurance market?
It's changing, but not so fast you can't pivot a little bit each year. Same with like AI for our industry. Like I got really scared there for a second. I was like, are we blowing up? Is it gone? And then I'm like, oh, I can add this in. I can do more with it. Same as like you're talking with the financing side. If you pivot a little bit, if you offer other options outside of that, and you just start to master little things that aren't just insurance, you're good.
Yeah.
It's just make a move every year that helps set you up and allows you to do other things. I think that most guys are only scared because they don't have other options. So give yourself other options at least, so you don't have to be scared.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that scary because there's a lot of people we know that do retail, right? It's not that scary.
Right.
Like, people still need roofs.
Yep. They gotta have roofs no matter what. Whether insurance is gonna cover it or not, like, you gotta have a roof.
And to the degree that, like, messed up roof causes other damage, the insurance company is going to want to fix that. But despite that, like, the point is like, that's a reason to fix it right now, is that it could cause other problems in your home.
Yeah.
So it's not just like the obvious blatantly damaged roof that needs to be replaced. It's the one that could cause mold in your attic or whatever else. Like, there's just a lot of reasons to get a new roof.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. I love that all these buildings have roofs, don't you?
Yeah, it's nice.
I love that.
It's nice that they have that. It's a good feature.
It's one of the best parts of a building.
Yep. Do you feel like that shift, I agree with you, it does seem like this is something that, as long as you're making a little change every year, it's not like it's going to wipe everybody out in a year. But are you seeing that marketing and how companies are marketing and generating leads is also going to shift with that? Do you think that's going to shift? What's your view there?
Yeah, I think I'm a guy that always pushes, like, if I'm talking one-to-one with a roofer, I'm saying, hey, what else should you, like, I'm already having these conversations because not every lead that comes in through Google is storm damaged.
Yeah.
And so guys that only do storm damage are going to have a little harder time generating leads through Google and trying to flip them all. So we have to kind of like, hey, what else are you doing, like financing or small repairs? Repairs is another big thing.
Yeah.
To me, guys that can do repairs and have actual roof repair people on their staff will always have a business.
Oh yeah.
So like, repair is a beautiful business, and you can charge more for your repairs.
Yeah.
You don't have to charge $500 or $1,200 every time. You can do something like Ugly Roof or other just more intentional repair options that actually like add more value. You know, even roof cleaning, just these types of things actually do add value. Like, you can add stuff that's around that type. I get it. We all want the $17,000 check.
Yeah.
But the thing is that especially if there's a little bit of a down economy, sometimes it's just cycles, right? I don't think we're in like a big old hole. I think we're in a little bit of a down economy. And as we come back up, like, I think in this down though, you don't sell your most expensive stuff as much, but more people need the cheaper stuff.
They need the repairs.
So if you get better at that type of stuff and at financing, to me, we just always have a job.
Yeah.
I think repairs are on the same level as financing. It's like, people need to learn how to have a repair discipline in-house. Companies that I see do that are healthier even in down economies.
Yep, 100% agree. I mean, I'm seeing. So like my co-founder John, I mean, he was against doing repairs for the longest time, and he's made a 180 on that. Like they've last year and a half, 2 years have really embraced repair work more, and I mean it's been really positive for his business. Just like you're saying, it's like it's been a tough year, and so they haven't been selling like the big jobs like they want to be, and so that's filled in the gap. So
it's massive and great for reviews and referrals.
Oh yeah, way higher volume. Yeah,
get a couple referrals off that repair. Like, hey guys, we don't just try to sell the new roof every time.
Yeah.
Hey, would you leave us a review? Do you have a neighbor that could maybe like utilize a company like us?
Yeah.
That's the stuff that reputations are built on.
Right. 100%. Yep. Cool. I think this doesn't segue right after what we're talking about, but it was something else I thought of earlier when you're talking about who you like to work with. So I wanted to circle back to it. You know Brad Akers, right?
Yes.
So we're really good friends with Brad, and he does go hard on agencies sometimes.
Oh, sure.
But I feel like what he is saying is like, get your systems, get your follow up, your speed to lead, your systems around how you knock around your jobs and basically turn every one of your leads into more jobs. Get those systems in place before investing in marketing. It almost seems like, you know, the people he works with, that he puts that stuff in place, are then prime people that could then work with you.
Oh, I bet. And I mean, we've referred people to him too, like on the smaller side, like even if they're a client of ours, if they don't have that type of stuff set up, it's going to be harder for them to get the money out of us.
Yeah.
Because this makes the most sense if you are turning leads into referrals.
Yeah.
If you do have a process set up for great customer service and sales process.
Yep.
So like people like that, I like to make allies of us. It's also like they know when it's time. He probably knows better when it's time to graduate to somebody like Hook from the little agency, you know, the ones that maybe don't have as much going out. Like we're very aggressive, right?
Yep.
He probably knows better when it's time to work with Hook than anyone. Same with Joseph Hughes. Like they know more probably than I do sometimes.
I think that drops. We'll reconnect it real quick. There we go. That'll work. That'll get us through.
I just think, I believe in coaching. I believe in I believe in marketing coaching. I believe in systems coaching. We love coaches. We love Brad.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. Well, this has been great, Tim.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
thank
you so much.